843 K-Fire, guns in the 701. Gentlemen, how are you?
Pretty good, sir.
Great.
How are you doing today?
Doing fantastic. Gonna warm up, get rid of some smoke. We'll all be fine. It's good to see there's at least one governor in the country vetoing anti-gun bills. Is the legislature there going to screw it up, though?
Yeah, Nevada Governor Joe Lombardo, he's a Republican. He just won election last year. He vetoed three anti-Second Amendment bills that the Democrat-controlled legislature had passed earlier this week. His statement was he will not support legislation that infringes on the constitutional right of Nevadans. As I stated in my letters, much of the legislation I vetoed is in direct conflict with legal precedent and established constitutional protections, which he's 100% right on the money on that. So the first one that he vetoed was Bill 354. This thing's ridiculous. It bans possession of firearms within 100 feet of polling places. So if you're walking by a polling place, you're carrying concealed, and for whatever reason you get stopped and somebody finds out you have a gun on you, now you've broken the law. And furthermore, what's the problem with having your gun at a polling place anyways? I mean, if somebody's going to come in there and shoot it up, you think they care about a concealed carry law? No, I'm pretty sure they don't. Another part of that bill, they redefined firearm frames and receivers, which, of course, what that deals with is unfinished frames. And now they want to do it with actually finished frames and receivers of a firearm, like an AR-15 has an upper and a lower, and pistols have lower, like a slide in their lower receiver. They want a serial number on both of them, on the upper and the lower. And, well, thank God that's not going to pass. I mean, that's just another way of them, keeping track of your guns, which they're not supposed to do. It's never been proven that a serial number on a gun helps police actually solve crimes anymore, which is the excuse they always use for that. And next one up, we got Assembly Bill 355, which would, of course, have discriminated against adults 18 to 20 years old, and that is an adult. Democrats, an 18 to 20-year-old is an adult. And it would have further denied them their Second Amendment rights by prohibiting them from possessing semi-automatic rifles and shotguns. In addition to that, they're going to require gun owners to lock up their semi-automatic long guns to supposedly prevent those children under 21 years of age from assessing them or face criminal penalties. And under that legislation, both the parent and adult could have faced criminal penalties while engaging in hunting or shooting sports. And as Clay knows, we're having the Second Amendment Day celebration tomorrow. There's going to be a number of young adults and children under 20 years old. We'd be in trouble for that, for letting them shoot semi-automatics. And I guarantee you, my daughter's going to be shooting a semi-automatic a lot tomorrow. So put that in your pipe and smoke it, Democrats. And Senate Bill 171 would have expanded Nevada's prohibited person categories for misdemeanors. They just want to make it so you have to be an absolute Boy Scout to own guns. It's ridiculous how they harass gun owners. And one of the stipulations, and this one really freaking burns me, would have prohibited a person from owning or purchasing or possessing a firearm if they have been convicted of a quote, hate crime, or not only that, convicted of it, just attempting to commit a hate crime, whatever that is, in the past 10 years. Hate crimes are ridiculous the way it is. Anymore, if you're a white person, you're hating just because you're white, according to most Democrats. So, thank God Governor Lombardo had the common sense to veto these three bills. I'm sure the Democrat-controlled Nevada legislature's sitting on pins now. They're mad as hell. So,
well, one thing I'll add, Jamie, to Senate Bill 171, they define hate crime as this: an element of which that is conducted of the offender was motivated by the actual or perceived race, color, religion, national origin, physical or mental disability. Then they added sexual orientation and gender identity or expression of another person or group for which a court of competent jurisdiction imposed an additional penalty to a finding that the conduct of the offender was motivated by the actual or perceived race, and it's all the other same things. So hate crime, I hate that term anyway. That's a liberal term to basically engulf and entrap people, but it's insane. And yeah, the governor did a great job there.
So Clay, remind me real quick before we go on, is it in our Constitution or Bill of Rights that it's illegal to hate something?
No, it's not. You have the right to hate anything you want as far as the Constitution goes.
You bet. You might look like a jerk if you do it, but it just shouldn't be illegal.
You can also be a jerk.
Yeah, you can be a jerk if you want to.
Wow, we forgot to write that part in. Let's get the feather pen and bottle of ink out, and let's get that written in there. 848 and K-Fire, it's Guns in the 701 here. Court rejects request to temporarily block Illinois assault weapon bans. And as a side note to that, Mayor Lightfoot is out. Mayor Brandon, let's go Brandon, is in. Careful what you wish for, because he's starting to look like he's even further to the left.
Yeah, I think he's going to be worse than Beetlejuice was. She was a horrible mayor. Yeah.
You're right on the money with that.
Yeah, you got to see the side by side. That's great. Anyway, but and this all comes from basically you had Robert Beavis. He's the owner of a gun store in Naperville, Illinois. And the gun rights group they talk about, I'm pretty sure that was Gun Owners of America that brought this to the case, to the court. And it had to do with, of course, they adopted an ordinance in Naperville that would have banned the sale of most, quote, assault rifles. And then in January, the Illinois legislature passed a law that bans or bars the sale of the purchase of assault weapons and high-capacity magazines. So they doubled down on it, in the legislature. Well, what happened was, like you mentioned, the Virginia Kendall judge in the U.S. District, she actually upheld this. So they appealed this to the Seventh Circuit of Appeals. Well, they haven't heard the case yet. And what they wanted them to do then, they filed a motion to at least put a stay on it, basically block the law from going into effect. And that went nowhere, so they took it to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court has, and probably, I know some people might get mad, rightfully so, because the lower courts have not decided on this all the way through the process. And I'm pretty sure that's why the Supreme Court rejected to hear this, because the lower court of appeals, the Seventh Court of Appeals, has not heard this yet. I imagine when it goes through the process, it will probably make it to the Supreme Court, unless something else gets there. And I have to say that based on New York State rifle and pistol versus Bruin, you'll probably see a different decision if it makes it that far. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the Supreme Court or in the Seventh Court of Appeals, but they don't have that scheduled until later this June. So I'm betting that's what we're going to have to wait for, guys.
Guns in the 701 and K-Fire. You know what? We may never get the manifesto from Tennessee. What the heck? Just put it out there.
Yeah.
Put the cards on the table. We want to know what in the world happened out there.
Well, Todd, it's not much different. We were just talking about Las Vegas. They've never said the real reason why what's his name down there at Mandalay Bay shot up all them Republican concert goers at Jason Aldean's concert years ago. I think that was 2017. I just let you in on why he really did it right there. If you caught that, Clay.
I did.
Yeah. And if that went over anybody's head, the reason he did it is because he figured a bunch in that crowd would be conservative, so that's why he did it. That's right. Anyway, on to Tennessee. Yeah, the parents of the children there, they said they see no good reason it can come from the release, and wish to contend that the writings, which they believe are dangerous and harmful of a mentally damaged person, should not be released at all. I'm 100% the opposite of that, Clay, because I just like I just said, I believe these writings will prove that this is a deranged leftist who did the shooting, just like the guy in Kentucky did that we've talked about. He wanted to prove that you could go in there with an AR-15, and he wanted them banned. He was mad about it. And this person was a leftist, and I don't believe the media there wants that to come out, that this person was a leftist and went after Christians and like that. Clayton, what do you think about that?
Well, I think you're right on that. I can't understand why the church itself, who runs the school, they're even on board with it. The Covenant School is asking to intervene as well to stop this thing from coming out. And I know one thing about this is that Hale, I hate to even give the name out because we shouldn't give name to this basically mentally disturbed person. but was under the doctor's care for an undisclosed emotional disorder. Well, I imagine that we kind of know what that's going to be when you can't decide what gender you are and you're going back and forth. It's got to do something to your mental illness or your mental health just to be in that state, and I suppose that was part of it. That's probably another reason this is being fought, and they don't want out. The parents have come out. They're using the parents. I suppose they don't tell us how many, though. They never do. So how many parents is it? One? Maybe two of them? Is it a variety of people that are from that school? Is it just the school board or the administration? They don't give us those details because they might not fit the narrative from the AP. And we know that the Associated Press is definitely not with us. So who knows exactly how many it is. You know, the Tennessee governor, Bill Lee, he wants to actually, he'd like to have it because he wants to get that out there as soon as possible. And then you've got, like we were talking about, Chairman Jeremy Faison, he wants it because they're going into a special session that unfortunately I know is going to include red flag laws. They're calling it a special session to look at the proposal to remove firearms from people judged dangerous. But that's a red flag law, and I imagine when we see the actual wording of what they're going to talk about, it's going to be red flag laws.
Guys, in the 701 here at K-Fire, guys, we gotta wrap up because we're getting close to 9 here, and then Daryl kicks me out and throws bacon at me. But
sounds good.
But you've got KFYR Plus. You got some stuff coming up on Monday, right?
Yes. We got
Monday, we're on KFYR Plus. Crosshairs with Jay Dillon at KFYRplus.com. That's at 11:30 a.m. Mountain, 12:30 p.m. Central. We're on there for about 30 minutes.
And then on Wednesday nights,
everything comes on 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 7 p.m. Central Time. And I know we're going to be discussing probably the 2A day we're having tomorrow. We're going to give you some results and talk about what we did there. And I know we'll probably also discuss the new poll that we have on our Facebook page, which is asking which caliber is the best one. And I won't give it away. Just hit the Facebook page and go check it out. We've got some
biggest one.
The biggest one.
Because I want to blow away the guy robbing my neighbor and standing behind his fridge or whatever that meme was. I forget you know what I'm talking about.
So do I. Do.
Well, I mean, come on. You want to take care of the problem. I mean, that's and as far as concealed carry in like a polling place, I'd rather have somebody be able to take out the idiot that decided they wanted to come in and shoot a bunch of people. Do we let them win? Or do we take them out? Sorry.
Take them out.
These are people who've obviously never grasped wars or anything like that. Well, of course, there's a whole bunch of those people.
I'd add this in, Todd. If you don't catch our live stream on Facebook or YouTube on Wednesday nights, you can surely find it the next day on iHeartRadio for the podcast.
There we are.
Recommend.
The best podcast on iHeart.
Best one.
Absolutely.
Best one in North Dakota for sure.
And all the other states. The whole darn rock, the whole globe, the whole disc, whatever. Are we flat now or are we still round? I'm trying to keep up.
That's your boy from Nevada.
Don't start me. Don't start me with it. My God. Guns to the 701. Thanks, guys. Always a pleasure.
Thanks a lot, Todd. Maybe we'll see you out there tomorrow.
Yeah, when and where is that again?
Jamie.
Tell you what, Todd, I'll send you a message right when this is over. The address will be on there. If you need any directions, you give me a call. We'll wrap the call here. I'll let you know.
All right, sounds good. Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it.
You bet.
Guns in the 701 on K-Fire Radio 857. Hayden Midlighter.